Hi folks,
Hi folks.
Mike and Tam here from the backyard, and we have been tagged for a questionnaire by New Horizons. New Horizons are our dear friends. If you haven't checked these guys out yet, Susan puts on a live stream every Friday night that is funnier than any sitcom on television. And she takes you places around the Smoky Mountains to the attractions and to the natural wonders of the Great Smoky Mountains. And if you have a disability, well, Susan is like your scout because she has a disability too. So wherever she can go, wherever she can see, there's access there for anybody to go to. It is a great channel. And you know, Tammy, I am always humbled when one of our friends, one of our YouTube friends and family actually tag us for these things, because it's like saying we remember you, and that is just so sweet. Especially a channel with a following like New Horizons to remember us among so many. We appreciate it, Susan and Jim. Thank you very much. Now, these questions, they all are related to, there's 10 questions all related to quarantine. These are all about being in quarantine. So our answers should be in context of being in this this Stephen King story, which we find ourselves trapped in. Okay, the first question really would be best for Tammy, because she's the quartermaster around the house here, is how many rolls of toilet paper do we have?
Probably about 40 right now. Because one reason, I keep my sister who has surgery in supply, and I keep our daughter in supply.
Probably, how many yards do you think we could roll with the toilet paper that we have?
One good yard. You gotta do it right when you.
While we're on this subject, I feel like there's something that I should mention that it's been on my heart for a while to share with folks, and I think now is as good a time as any, and I want to just go ahead and share this with you. If you want to cut your toilet paper usage by at least a third, here's what you do. Every morning, every evening, a heaping tablespoon of the big name brand you would all recognize as Metamucil, but it's just really psyllium fiber powdered, or psyllium husks powdered. And if you mix it with water or some fruit juice twice a day, I promise you, Bone Daddy promises you, that within 3 days, your toilet paper usage, it works, folks. And Tammy can't stand the texture and the taste of the, she can't get it down, but if you can, 2 tablespoons, morning, night, after 3 days, it will seem like a miracle. You will think that you turned into a dog. Okay, the next question, number 2, Tammy. What has been the biggest change to our life since the lockdown?
Not that big of a change. I mean, we don't get to go places and vlog like we like to, but we're homebodies too.
During the week, we really, before we didn't, our whole channel really was started out and mostly based on the things that Tammy and I were doing on the weekends. For 20 years, we've been going out at least that long, every weekend, finding some event and some place to go and have a few laughs. And really, that's been the major change that I've seen. But other than that, we really haven't, as far as our weekly Monday through Friday, there really hasn't been that much of a change to our life. Most of these questions, if I didn't mention it before, I believe they were initially intended for an audience of folks who are into RVing. As much as we would love to have an RV.
If you want to send us one.
Yes, we do not. So we'll answer some of these questions as best we can under the context. And this one is, where are we currently parked?
In the driveway.
In the driveway. We're parked that direction about, I'd say about 25 feet. What have you gone without? What have we, is there anything that we have had to, that you feel that we have had to go without?
No. We got plenty of toilet paper.
So we do. We have not had to go without where we live, and this kind of plays into the one of the questions is the next question for me. Where we live, we really haven't experienced any shortages.
I mean, no, it has been, but you can find it more than some counties around here.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, more than compared to the nation as a whole. I think we're doing probably have done probably we haven't had to go without we haven't had to go without toilet paper.
Matter of fact, we've been eating pretty well.
Not that I need toilet paper, obviously, from what I told you earlier. The next question, question number 5. What are you most grateful for during this quarantine time?
More time with you. Well, like we don't spend a lot of time together anyway. But yeah, more time with you.
I've enjoyed that too, and we've had a lot of laughs. And you get back to basics, and you learn to appreciate
the little things.
The little things. Again, stuff that you just took for granted, you start to appreciate all over again. I think what I'm most grateful for during this quarantine is the area in which we live, our little town.
Oh yeah.
Our county. It is a very plugged into social media kind of place.
Yeah.
Our neighborhood has its own Facebook group.
Yeah.
Our city has its own Facebook group. Our county has, and they all have tons of members. So there's a constant stream of communication going on where we live. And our officials, our mayor, our police and sheriff's department also are jacked into the social media, and we're constantly kept updated. So we've never felt like, at least in our little home, that we've been in the dark about anything. And again, we haven't experienced a whole lot of shortage. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for our little neck of the woods that we live in.
I am too.
Number 6. What do you miss most?
Going out on the weekends.
I would say,
Get out of the house.
we have gone out on the weekends, and we have gone out of the house. But
I miss going out to eat. I miss that.
Yeah, it was. I think Tracy and Dan did these exact same questions the other day, and from Midlife Mamaw, and they actually that was, I think, Dan's thing, going out to eat. So what I miss the most is events.
Yeah.
It's one thing to go to a place, to a tourist town, that's well and good, but if you go to any of these places when there is an event going on, there's an atmosphere, and there's always some kind of event in North Georgia.
Yeah,
except in the dead of winter, like in February, in late January, February. But for the rest of the year, there's always something going on, and I miss that. I miss events. Now, this is another one of those questions I think is more is made. It was probably composed for the RV community. Number 7. How long has it been since you've been to a campsite?
Technically, it's been a long time. About 17 years or so.
It's been
because Haley was like 15 or 16, our daughter.
I think it's been probably at least 15 years. We have camping gear.
She was a typical teenager. Didn't want to go camping.
She didn't want to go camping toward the end. We have camping gear. We have a nice Coleman tent outside. You can set up housekeeping in it if you had to. It's pretty good size. But we just haven't been in a while.
No.
The thought of sleeping on the ground, even with the best air mattress, when you're old and you're fat, it's really hard to get up in the morning. You might fall asleep, but you might not get back up that next morning. If someone would, front us an RV, I'm sure we would probably sleep a lot better at the campsite next time.
Buy us one, folks.
Yes. Well, we'll set up another Patreon. In addition to the one for baby goats, we'll have one for getting us an RV. Number 8. What is your favorite quarantine food, Tammy? Your favorite quarantine food?
Oh, wow. I love food. I mean, savory foods. I love savory foods. So, potatoes. I love potatoes. And gravy.
Have you been eating a lot of that throughout the?
I've had my share of potatoes.
Potatoes are they will sustain you. For many centuries, people who were in a famine situation, it was the potato that it brought them through. So potatoes But
Yeah.
you know, as far as the old calorie counting,
I know.
I don't think
But they sure are tasty.
They are tasty, especially deep fried.
Or mashed.
Okay, here's one, Tammy. Here's the question. I'm sure you've been looking forward to. How are you exercising and doing workouts?
I mow
during
the
this-
yard, thank you. And I do housework, but I don't get enough exercise now, obviously.
Well, neither one of us is getting as much as we can. We go walking. We walk a pretty good bit on the weekends, and
Well, we did.
well, yeah. Well, we've still been getting some
Yeah.
walking in, but I actually have some resistance bands, and
Yeah.
on certain days, what I'll do is off and on through the days, I'll do some different kinds of exercise with resistance bands as fast as I can to try to get my heart beat up and pumping. But I was doing that before
Yeah.
the
Quarantine.
the apocalypse. So the last question number 10. Who are we challenging next? Tammy, who are you challenging next?
Ventures in the Heartland.
Adventures in the Heartland raise show rabbits, which is fascinating.
Yes.
They grow, so like Tammy was just saying, they grow.
They're like rabbits.
They grow like rabbits so fast, and they're so pretty. The ones that John and Jan breed. They also do a lot. They do a lot of putting up, as the old folks used to say around here. They put up canned goods every year. They're into canning.
And Jan does stained glass.
She's an artist,
Very
a stained
talented.
glass
It's very
artist.
complicated. I had no idea it was that complicated.
And they will. I'm sure they'll be glad to take commissions on
yeah.
the stained glass. She's very good at that. She will do
very
portraits
good.
I think she's done portraits of folks. Fur babies before in
Yeah.
stained glass. They're excellent folks. Excellent channel. Great live stream. Very inclusive. Very treat you like family. Adventures in the Heartland. The next folks we want to challenge to answer these 10 quarantine questions, which, by the way, I will put the questions. Of course, anybody wants to do this.
Yeah, right.
You better hurry
Anybody.
up. You better hurry up and do these quarantine questions because it may not be. We may not be locked down very much longer. So if you want to do them, they'll be down there. The next folks we want to nominate is Hammocks to Coasters.
Yeah.
Hammocks to Coasters. Christina, Mark, and young Master Theodore, they all live in Central Florida, near all that action that you theme park and thrill junkies crave so much. And besides that, they actually take to the road from time to time, and they show you old Florida, and they also show you very old Florida.
And Teddy is very cute.
Teddy is a joy to watch if you can remember those days, which I can't,
Me
where
either.
everything interested you. Everything that you saw interested you. I think Teddy is what, around 2?
Close.
He's close to. I don't think he's quite 2 yet, but he's coming up on 2 years old, and he has all that curiosity. And they're taking him to all these places where he exhibits that. It's just a joy to watch.
It
so,
is.
So Hammocks to Coasters, we're tagging you to answer these questions too. So, folks, we've as usual. We've talked too much, and we've taken up too much of your time. So, until the next time, this is Mike and Tam saying,
Bye.
bye.